Apartments or condos, should I rent or should I own? Escrow, release home.
Welcome to Real Estate After Dark. I'm your host, Larry Castleberry.
And June King.
What's up, June?
What's going on, Larry?
What's going on? Not much, man. It's episode 3.
Episode 3, and
1,
it's cold.
2, and 3.
Yeah.
It is cold. What's up with that?
Texas.
What? I think Paul did something.
You think Paul did something?
Paul probably did something with this weather. Because
Yeah.
I had baseball this weekend, and let me tell you, it's cold when you're out there. That hawk is outside,
Ooh.
flapping his wings.
And you know what people say, we weak because, you know, this is Texas and it doesn't get that cold outside. And I'm like, are you serious? I had my hood with the fur.
With the
around,
furs?
yes. And they was like, yes, with the fur.
What about the boots with the fur? They still wear that?
They wear that, but I didn't have that on today, okay?
Man, it was good, man. It was crazy out there. Man.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Man, Paul, how was that concert, man? I'm sorry I didn't make it, but how was it? It was great.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Paul be rocking it out, man.
Yeah.
Crazy big, awesome.
I saw the previews. Paul is like the real deal, okay?
Oh, he is the real deal.
Yeah. So we're just so honored to have him as our producer because he's awesome.
I love it. I love it too.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what. He's all shucks now. He's getting off. Now his dimples are showing.
Okay.
Watch out.
Oh.
That's crazy. And speaking of like, you know, watching my son play baseball this weekend, I was thinking to myself, they lost bad. I mean, they lost bad. So and you kind of feel bad because you know they're playing on a different team and they're trying to, you know, work through the kinks of playing with each other.
It's cold outside too.
It is cold. So it kind of brought me back to like, you know, making sure you're equipping yourself with the right team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things always seem to relate back to business and family.
Yeah.
And then so we've been getting a really good feedback from people following us on our show and people telling me, "Oh man, I love your show." It's it makes me want to keep listening.
Yeah.
You know, because we kind of bring like real stories and real objectives.
Yes.
You know, so it just made me tie back into like, wow, we have to make sure we're equipping ourselves with the right team.
Yes.
And, you know, we talk about home ownership, you know, from a market perspective of finding your dream home. Then we talk about it from a financial perspective, making sure we're doing things that make sense for our lifestyle,
Right.
because it really is a lifestyle. And it wouldn't be right if I wouldn't ask people for their business, because I love asking people for their business. And so if anybody's wondering and they're watching our show and they're big fans of us, you know, an easy way to get in touch with me for your real estate needs. I know we're in a big listing season and people are looking for homes. You can reach me at 1-833-224-8227. And just reach out to me. Some of you guys have my direct number. Reach out to me. You're not going to get, you know, an assistant that's going to pat you through. You're going to talk to me directly.
Oh.
So I think that's pretty awesome.
And you have a toll-free number.
And it's toll-free. I'm trying to get my business game up.
Okay.
You know.
I can't remember my toll-free number, so direct.
You see me looking. You know.
Okay, right. I know, right? It's so many. I think I used to I'm a number person, right? So I used to remember numbers all the time, right? But the older I get, I'm like, it's so easy for the cell phone, right? The flip, right?
Remember that Fade 5 that you used to have back? I forget what.
And I'm talking about flip. A flip phone. Like, I mean, who has a flip phone?
I don't know.
Okay.
If you saw one, I would definitely be talking about you, low key.
I'm old school, so I don't mind the flip phone. They was durable.
Pulling out a flip phone.
They were durable and they work well for falling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, how could they reach out to you? Because I know when we talk about building that team, you know, how can they reach out to you if they're people following us or they're, you know, outside the U.S. or inside of Dallas-Fort Worth? How can they get in touch with you?
So you can get in touch with me. So I'm licensed in a few other states too. So I'm licensed in California. I'm licensed in Illinois.
Okay.
Michigan. Of course, I'm from Michigan. So I was like,
Flint,
I had to have it. Yeah, yes, right.
Yeah.
And I am licensed in Florida.
Okay.
And I'm licensed in Texas, of course.
Yes.
And so the best way to reach me is 817-310-8607.
Awesome.
So that's the best number to reach me. And even if you feel like, this is not your time, because sometimes I like preparation, right?
Right.
So I tell people, you can't say, I want to move today and you're not prepared. So I don't even mind if it's a year out, if you want to call, or you just want to get a game plan.
Of course.
I like game plan.
Yes.
I like for you to be prepared.
Marks.
Yes.
I was like,
yes.
let's get these benchmarks out
and
of the way
I
right
follow
quick.
through and follow up to make sure you're following through.
That's the crazy thing. Like, people like, they celebrate championships. It's the regular season games that I like. You know what I mean? It's like it's building up. You celebrate every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just the big moments, so you have to approach, a lot of things that way. I approach business that way. Like, we're going to win this. We're going to win that. We're going to win this. We're going to win this. So I think that's, it's important that we, speak on that perspective.
We're going to work hard every day.
We are going to work hard every day.
Absolutely.
Oh,
okay.
cool.
So we have a sponsor, and this episode is sponsored by CLR National Title and Appraisal, and who's the representative. His name is Yasu, and Yasu is spelled EYAASSU, but the best way to pronounce his name is drop the E. So Yasu. Can you say that, Larry? Yasu?
Yasu.
Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about Yasu. He's a director of CLR National Title. He's been in the business for 16 years, and he's hardworking. He works 24/7. I always tell him he need to take a break sometimes, even though I don't take a lot of breaks. But I'm like, Yasu, you need to work. I mean, you can call him, you can text him. I mean, he's phenomenal. He even went as far as being a realtor for a year, just to understand what agents go through. He's also
cool.
a U.S. Army veteran.
Salute.
And yes,
Salute.
Absolutely. And he's so mobile. He also teaches Bible study at his church, and he's been doing that for 11 years.
Wow.
He's kind of like you. He coaches his 5-year-old soccer team, and he's a coach for his 8-year-old basketball team. I don't know how he works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and he's able to still do this and the Bible study. I'm like, he's cloned.
He's cloned.
Yes.
He wears a lot of hats. That's good.
Yeah. And so also his company offers closing anywhere in the U.S., right?
Okay.
And so what I like about him, so this is for realtors, right? What I like about him is he will go over and beyond. And I don't have to worry about my closing, because sometimes I do refinances.
Right.
And so I send all my refinance through him. And usually I have to follow through. And I remember I had a closing because I was really busy. And I was like, oh. And then I received a calendar reminder that my closing was already scheduled, because he's already done.
He's already on it.
So he is like top notch. Yasu with CLR National Title and Appraisal. I recommend him because I only recommend people that I use.
Of course.
And I hate people that recommend people that don't use. Because then they be like, oh, I ain't really know that they wasn't that good. I'm like, but you recommended him.
So you're saying that he's vetted.
Yes.
He went through your vetting process.
He is highly recommended.
I love it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Okay. So let's go get on in there in the business and talk about what we're going to talk about it's tips for the first home buyers, right?
Yes. Tips for first time home buyers. It's a 4-part series. This is the first part, just kind of going over some tips, keeping it very simple. We are leading up to our May 18th first time home buyer seminar.
Yes.
I'm super excited about that.
I'm excited about it. I know I got the date incorrect.
Well, that's okay.
Yes.
We're going to get it right.
Yes. May 18th.
And I tell you what, I've been to some first time home buyer seminars, but I've never did one.
Really?
I've always wanted to do one. But, I go for support and stuff, but I've never done one myself.
So exciting.
So I'm excited to do it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like really like jump off like a party.
It's going to be so much energy.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be free food, free snacks, giveaway, man. I love it. I know. I got to wheel him in, guys, because Larry likes to give away stuff. Yes. I'm going to have to wheel him in.
I'm excited about it.
Yes.
Well, cool. So I want to get in the first tip. And the first tip is, why should you hire a realtor?
Why should you?
I mean, for a lot of different ways. I mean, definitely you want to be represented, whether you're, going into new construction or pre-owned, you definitely want representation. I always say, like, man, I have someone that's going to help me negotiate through this process. Someone that's, that went to school, that had the hours put into multiple transactions, and knowing the market. So I think a lot of part, you got to know the climate of the market.
Yes.
You got to know whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, and a realtor is going to be able to communicate, that to you, and also, going through inspections.
Right.
Inspections is so really huge,
right,
when it comes to like the home health. So you're definitely represented in that realm of knowing kind of what the expectations are going through that. A realtor is going to really help you with the expectations of like the appraisal and how to navigate through that. I know it's more of like on your side for the appraisal
Right.
side, but it's on the side too. It's if you're putting in for a contract for the house, you have to make sure it's going to be in the realms of what an appraisal may come to.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, because people can sell their house for whatever they want to
Exactly.
sell for. And I think to hire a realtor is kind of like hiring a lawyer.
Of course.
Right. And so if you go to a home and you don't have a realtor and you use the seller, the person that's selling the home, realtor, who do you think that person works for?
Oh, they're working for the seller.
Absolutely.
They're not working in your favor.
Yeah. So even though that they're supposed to be ethical, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying people are being unethical, but everybody is not on the up and up, okay?
That is true.
And so, of course, they're always, and they're going to tell you this when they sign a contract. I still work for my seller.
Of course.
I'm going to help you through this process,
Right.
but I still work for my seller.
Yeah,
So,
you definitely have to divide both sides. You have to divide the seller side, and you have to divide the buyer side when it comes to that. But
yes.
But also just being resourceful, really knowing how to make, having a realtor to help you go through the offer process. I mean, that's, to be honest with you, to get things done, it's really having a great offer, and it's having an offer that makes sense.
Yes.
Because I've seen some bad offers out there.
Me too.
And other agents send you an offer, and they'll send it through text message. Check your email, the offer's there. I'm like, oh, what kind of business is this?
Right.
You want one of those agents that's going to call the other agent, have conversations, find the heartbeat of the transaction, ask them, hey, what is the seller looking for? What's their motivation? You want to make a connection.
Right.
Because in part of what you're doing for your people, you're making an emotional connection, with, tying into the house. So you definitely want representation. If you're in the buyer side, the representation is free. Just make sure you have somebody that's competent and that really loves to do their job.
And it's gonna fight for you.
Exactly.
Larry's the man.
You want to win. You
Right.
want my idea is to have more wins than you have losses. So
I like that.
definitely. So let's get into the second one. The second one is find the right home for you. And some big things you talk about finding the right home for you. It's all about, how you got to ask yourself some questions. How big is your family? Are schools a factor? So you're thinking about resale value in your house and getting equity. Schools it's really at the top of the list. Very much at the top of the list when it comes to resale value.
Unless you're single like myself. My daughter's older, so school is not like on the top of my
Exactly. So part of those questions that I asked as a buyer's agent, like, man, what are these things that are important for you? Is it resale value? Is schools a factor right now? Is it community over commute? Because finding an agent that really understands communities, the ins and outs of communities, that's highly important,
right?
When you're trying to make a decision with that. Your personal and recreational things that you have going on, that is super important.
Yeah.
Because I had one of my good friends call me today. She's like, man, I really want to look for a home in South Arlington. And then she started naming, she said, man, a vet for my dog is very important.
Me too.
She loves to work out. She's like, workout facilities are important.
It is.
So now we're coming. Yeah. This is where the partnership comes from.
Right.
Creating a game plan. What's going to be overall objective of making someone happy in a community.
Yes.
So I think those were some of the good fun things too. And then making a list of features. We talk about, saying a 10, name all your 10 features. Man, let's see, can we get 8 out of 10? Let's see, can we get 9 out of 10?
Right.
Let's see, can we get 10 out of 10?
Right.
So making a list of those things in the house that you love. Is it granite? Is it, a beautiful, redone bathroom? Does it have farm sinks and tile, wood floors, big backyard, maybe a swimming pool.
Right.
You know, some of the you love landscape because I love landscape.
And I don't.
I'm all about
I'm
landscape.
like, burn it.
You would burn it. You know, I came up with my own spring like landscape like document this week for like friends and stuff.
Well, you should have helped
and
me.
I've been
okay?
I've been sending them out to people, and people are like, man, you really about this life? I'm like, yeah, I am.
Wow, that's
So,
awesome.
If anybody's out there looking for a really good like spring lawn care plan, like I'm totally in it right now.
So give them that phone number again, Larry.
214-529-9067. Hit me up. I will send you my spring lawn care plan.
Awesome.
It's legit.
Awesome.
I'm gonna be showing some pictures about what I be looking like too.
Oh, wow.
I'm for real about this life.
Right. But you know what? Also, too, I want people to be realistic, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't hear this side or whatever. So
Okay.
if you want all those features, right, and depending on the area, you have to be willing to pay sometimes,
Of course.
for things that you want, right?
Yes.
So if your budget is low, which is okay, and when I mean low and lower than what the standard market is,
Right.
then you have to be willing to move in different areas.
Of course.
Okay. And be comfortable with that. And then because you have to figure out is that, do I want all my features in this area, or would I take all my features in this area, and the commute could be a lot. And so people struggle with that. Like they battle with
it's
that.
It's really what's important at the time.
Yeah.
And what can you do? What can you do later?
Yes. What can you do later?
What can you do later?
Yes.
So a lot of times people are expecting turnkey properties, which I mean like nothing needs to be done.
But they don't want to pay turnkey.
But they don't want to pay turnkey. So a lot of times you have to look and say, hey, is this livable?
Yes.
So I love using that word. Is this livable? Because if it's livable, then I can come in and do some things later.
Right. Now, but if you can't like screw a light bulb on, maybe
that's not your deal.
Right. You need a turnkey, right?
You gotta be Ford tough. You gotta be built. I should have like a Ford plug in there somewhere. I need some sponsors for real.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
Ford would be
Ford.
awesome.
I need that truck logo on
right. Here. And we get Ford sponsorship. Our sponsorship bill is gonna go up.
We made it. We made it.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk about calculate what you can afford. All right. And so I recommend the lifestyle. So you talk about the lifestyle, right? And so you have to understand some people, right, which sometimes you don't think that you can buy a home, right? So you wake up one day, it's like, I want to buy a home. Okay. That's what I'm here for. And sometimes you maybe not be prepared for that, right? So what you see on Zillow, I've said this several times because I had a client today that came in here. That's not the real payment. So you would need to call me to give you a real payment because it doesn't have the 4 components, which is your principal and interest, your taxes, your homeowner's insurance, and private mortgage insurance. Right. Private mortgage insurance, call me if you have questions, but that's a different podcast.
PMI.
PMI, that'll take it out. So, calculate what you can afford. And I always say, just because the bank says that you can afford $500,000. Right. Doesn't mean that you want to buy a house for $500,000. Right. You want to be comfortable. I would hate and I tell my clients this all the time. I want you to be able to afford to be sick. It's a bad thing when you have the flu and you can't afford to take a day or 2 off. So you don't want to be at your max. So calculate what you can afford. And then when you and I talk, we're going to talk. And I hate when people ask, what is my max? What is my max? What is my max? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need you to calm down. Yeah. So, and then, but I have to tell them because legally I have to tell them. But then I go up and say, this is when you can't afford to be sick. So that's very important, right, to me.
And this is what that max look like payment wise.
But if you want it, I have no other option but give it to you. But I'm going to give you the knowledge and everything. And so I have people that are at their max and they might have a spouse where we can't calculate their income, which is okay because they're at their max. I want you to be able to live and enjoy your home.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that's important. Yes.
I love it. Okay, the next one is home warranty versus no home warranty. Ooh. So you got to have a home warranty, I think. But in most cases, it's definitely paid by the seller. So if you're thinking in terms of like new construction, you have, the builder is actually paying for your warranty, and it's 1, 2, and 10 is what we normally call that. And it's kind of hard for me to do these offhand, but I'm gonna read them to you. A 1 year is like it's a respective warranty company. Make sure with the warranty company that you do have, make sure you go through scenarios with the warranty company. Like if my garage breaks down, what is the cost of that? Do I pay for labor, parts, and those type of things? So really with the warranty company, just make sure they're reputable. Make sure they've been there for a couple of years. Make sure you kind of know some of the contractors. Usually with builders, they give you, a list of the warranties and everything that comes with it. So, but generally,
with the new build though, is it like a 10-year warranty? Or
yeah, it's a 1, 2, and a 10.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, let me break down the first year. The first year, it's like basically it's everything under the roof. I mean, it's everything on the home. We call it wall to wall.
Wall to wall, just kind of like
wall
like
to
an
wall.
auto, right? Wall to wall, like an
yeah,
auto,
like
right?
an auto,
Bumper
yeah,
to bumper.
bumper to bumper.
Okay.
But
I can understand
not
that.
if you like mess up your paint. Like you can like paint this, they ain't gonna come paint your wall.
Okay, because your
kids then came down the stairs trying to hang glide and doing all that type of stuff. But we call it a wall to wall for 1 year, and usually if you're coming through within like 9 or 10 months, when it's almost up, it's really good to start getting a list of things that's wrong with your house, because a lot of times things will move. Going through spring and summer and then winter. We're in Texas, so a lot of things move. You may have some baseboards.
Especially if you don't water your grass, right?
Yeah, you can mess that up. Yeah, you can mess that up. So a lot of times, is you definitely want to making that list from 9 to 10 months for your builder. Most people do it all online. You can do it all online, and then they'll come out and make sure they get everything going. 2 years, you pretty much have like wiring, piping, duct work, electrical work, plumbing, heating, cooling, and ventilation, and mechanical. And 10 years is like it's a structural warranty. So it's like with your foundation, the framing of your walls, partitions, roof framings, etc. So we call it a 1, 2, 10. And if you get into pre-owned, then you pretty much just have a 1 year situation.
That's what happened to me. But you can extend it.
Yeah, you can extend it. And people are thinking about, hey, what does that cost like for warranties? Warranties can run anywhere from $400 to about $550.
Yes.
So
it's worth it too.
It is worth it.
Yeah.
So if you're buying a pre-owned home, most of the time the seller is paying for it. But if you're in a multiple offer type situation for a house, I'm seeing buyers actually saying that they will pay for their own warranty in the contract to make them look stronger.
Right.
Because anything the seller didn't have to pay for makes you look good.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So those are just some strategies just to help win, when you're in those situations. And going back to why you need a realtor, this is one of those situations that could help you win.
Because I'm confused, okay? I would need a realtor to be able to help me, to guide me through, right? When they say guide you through your home, you want somebody that's going to be on your team and that works directly for you.
Yep, and it's start to finish.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so this is a big no-no. Do not see homes that you can't afford. Of course, the 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 homes, they're beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They're beautiful to me.
There's a lot of them out there.
There's a lot of them out there. And remember, Zillow do not give you the exact payment. It just gives principal and interest. It doesn't calculate the taxes, the homeowner insurance, the 4 components that I've always talked about. And mostly on my podcast, I'm going to always tell you about the 4 components. So you will know. June says principal and interest, taxes, homeowner insurance, and PMI. We're going to talk about the PMI later. Call me if you need me on that one. But it's really important to know what you can afford.
Right.
Because then you can know payments, right?
Yes.
Because even if you can afford, like I said, a $500,000 home or a $300,000 home, but you don't want to pay for it, then you're not going to entertain it. You're not going to go look at it.
So would it make sense if I'm like, a buyer and I'm pre-approved to you and you say, hey, you know what? If I'm approved for $500,000. So I may come to you and say, June, if I find a house for $200,000, what's my payment look like? If I find a home for $300,000, what will my payments look like? If I find a home for $500,000, what would that payment look like? Are you big on kind of doing that? Setting them up before they go out and look?
Ooh. Yes, but a lot of people don't do that. I had a client and she had got pre-approved for $160,000.
Okay.
and they call me up and say, "Hey, can you send another pre-approval for $220,000?"
Okay.
They already negotiated with the seller and everything. So I said, "Well, hey, I need to call her and tell her that it's going to be a big difference with her payments." She could not understand that it was going to be a big difference with her payments.
I mean, you're looking at
like for a couple of weeks, like it delayed our process for like 2 weeks.
$60,000.
And it's just because she was a first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
She didn't know,
the
And I don't think that her realtor knew that, that because she was just saying to her realtor and us that she was knowledgeable. But I knew because I've been doing it for a long time.
The knowledgeable part is the financial part.
Yeah. And so I suggest, I always tell my clients, don't be out there free falling.
Yeah.
Okay? I want you to call me and ask me, June, okay, I found a home for $440,000. Can you kind of give me a rough estimate on payment so you can be more realistic? Because she really wasn't realistic. Like she's still probably now today, even though it's been almost a year, why her payment went up.
Are you do you get a lot of calls from like, because I know I recommend my buyers to say, hey, call your mortgage person, give them the address of this property and the pricing, and see if it makes sense. Because I know I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I don't try to let me call them for you. You know, like, hey, call, check, have them run the numbers, and then we get into the offer situation.
Sometimes, yeah. I like to do that, but I tell them all the time, if you find a property, just call me, get the
What's
address.
that turnover usually?
So it just depends on what time it is. I usually do it same day. Like, so I always answer, my phone is always ringing, right? Because I'm doing pre-qualifications, right? So I'm usually busy literally between 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. Right. So if you can't get me, leave a message. And I tell all my friends, don't leave me messages because it blows my voicemail up.
Yeah.
And if you my friend, I'll stop being your friend if you leave me a voicemail message. It's only for my clients.
Right. I got you.
So and then I will call you right back as soon as I get off the phone because I'll get busy. I don't want to forget anyone. And if it's late, then I'll return your call first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love that. All right. So understanding what a fixer up, and we kind of hit on this a little bit. Yeah. Right. So if you know you can't screw in a light bulb, right? Then that home over there that need a whole bunch of repairs, that's probably not going to be you. Like I had a guy and he was trying to be an investor, right? And my client was purchasing his house. Well, he lost so much money that he was bitter through the whole transaction. Yeah. So it's okay to be an investor, but you want a realtor like yourself to be able to help you understand that process. Right. Because we all want to make money. We all want to be an investor. So just knowing where you are. Like me, I can't fix nothing. Okay. I don't want to screw the light bulb in. My light's been flickering for example, I had an electrician come to my house because I said, my lights is not working. Paid him $175.
Oh, wow.
Why did he go and told me that I had this light switch that was on the other side that I never touched because it looked really weird that it was over there. Turn it on, and while my lights in my kitchen for years. So I'm not that type of person they to fix it. Like for years, like it was like the light switch was like all the way on the other side. Yeah. And I never really I never really thought about going over there flicking it off. Yeah. And so he came, charged me $175. $175. And I tried to negotiate with him, right? Because I'm a good negotiator. But he was just like, no, you're going to pay me $175. And so then he went and told the person that I referred him. And everybody laughed. They just thought it was so funny. So I was embarrassed. So that's the most important
That's part
thing.
of it.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to definitely know what the cost of everything to get things done if you're going to go in and try to fix up a project.
Yes.
Get things budgeted out, knowing what, how much things cost per square footage, product cost, labor. It goes into really a lot because if you can't, you can probably find most of those things in this market that you want to fix up, but you have to find them for the right price.
You do.
I think that's really big. Brand new versus pre-owned. Wow, you get exactly what you want if you get you a new house. It starts on 0 miles. You start thinking about, you definitely get a bang for your buck. Less time to upkeep.
So you promote brand new.
I love brand new. New construction is awesome. I do a lot of my business on new construction.
So, you know, I'm
a
50-50.
lot of my business.
A lot of realtors and a lot of people are on brand new, but I'm 50-50 with brand new, right? Because I brought an existing home.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to, because it's a process.
It is a process.
So they might say your home might be ready in June and it might be ready in
That's
September.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
so it's a
expectations in
process.
that.
But then I have a different perspective on it.
Right.
Because it is 0 miles.
0 miles.
Yeah.
I love it. And then when you start thinking about energy efficiency, a lot of the brand new technology that comes with the homes is really big too, I think. When it comes to like you know, alarm companies and like the stuff that, you know, the UV rated windows, better construction materials are always improving those. Right. And when you start getting into like your light bills and your gas bills and the efficiency within that, like saving so much money there on a better green built house.
Right.
You'd be surprised how much money you can actually save with new construction versus pre-owned. Yeah. Because I come from pre-owned paying $300 light bills and stuff like that.
So it depends on how old the pre-owned is.
Well, that's true. But I know now with, you know, with my house that's new construction, you know, my electricity bill be like $80. I'd be like,
homeowners insurance is
that's
cheaper
a win.
Too.
That is true.
It is. It's a lot cheaper.
You'd be surprised. And you know, so a lot of those features that come with the houses now are really benefiting. So
right.
That's pretty cool. I love it. So
great. So
awesome.
That was 7 tips, right?
That was 7 tips. We got through 7. That's good.
Oh, that's awesome. So next week,
yep,
we're going to still kind of hit. We're gonna do like kind of like a mini series on. We did first time home buyers, and so now we're just going to do buyers. Right. You know, tips for buyers. Tips right. For buyers, so if you're first, second, third, fourth home, because I feel like you can always learn. Even I'm still learning.
Yes.
Yes. So
a little bit more accelerated for buyers.
Yes.
So I love it. Love it.
And of course, we got to always keep mentioning this, and we're going to give a location. May 18th, the buyer seminar.
Yes.
It's going to be Larry, the giveaway king.
It's
going to be giving away. That's his nickname, giveaway king.
Giveaway king.
I am going to will him back a little bit. And he's going to be giving away things. Going to have free food. It's going to be energy. It's going to be just so much information to receive.
Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you guys chatting with us today and checking us out. Feel free to hit us up this week and let us know we can help you out. It's a pleasure being with you this week, and look forward to being here next week.
Absolutely. Blessings.
See you guys later. Thank you.